defeat a team like NIP if they go for that strategy, the tried and tested run and gun. Well, we're going to start it out here in round number 1, finally getting underway. NIP will be on the defensive side of Fnatic's map choice of Ascent.
Already. Like, you can see they've pushed B main straight off the bat, they've pushed A main straight off the bat, and they've knifed down mid to just try and catch anybody over towards tiles. So this team is desperate for information, but they're not doing it in, I guess, the most standard way with sort of taking one piece of map control. They're trying to take it all.
Yeah, I sort of get this, though. I think early round, especially with that KO intel, they were hoping they could spot a couple of players, which would prompt an immediate reaction on the other extremity of the map where they would go swinging through. But Fnatic, well, they're sort of waiting for that. They were holding the default, watching for any aggression, but there's 55 seconds left, and eventually you've got to make a move on the attack. So they're going to move in towards the B site, but the rotates are through. NIP have got Shanji already ready behind the spawn, but he's going to be naded out. Now the players in Boathouse are isolated. Shanji able to find one through the smoke, and the kills are going to NIP for a little bit. They have absolutely no idea that Kawanzin was there until the turret saw him, and he's gone. This is starting to go Fnatic's way.
Yeah, and the remaining 2 players don't really have the positioning to try and break back through. It's awkward for Bosa, though. He gets stuck in the mud, leaving it down into a 2v2 after plant. Both players to the back of site, and there's actually still a paranoia here for the defenders as they look to try and get back in. Oh,
that could be such a huge problem. At least if they're holding the doorway, they can maybe force those close range angles, but NIP used the paranoia just to get through onto the site to break through those choke points, and now they'll look to duel. A shock dart out, Magnum's down, and that is a quick double for Bezany, leaving it into NIP's hands for the pistol round.
Yeah, and I think they are definitely a team that is going to be very important. They're going in with no fear. They've been here a million times before. It's not those like land jitters or anything like that.
Nasty little strap from Fnatic trying to come in with the wall bangs out of the Sheriff to start things off. You know, it's interesting you say that, though, about NIP having those older players on the duelist. I just imagine Angel sat here watching it from afar and just smiling.
You think there's a problem with that?
So what are you trying to say, Tom, huh? Well, look, realistically for Fnatic, a couple of pistols invested into. They want to try to grab a few kills, but
he didn't break the drone.
NIP should be able to get away with this one pretty easily, avoid losing too many players. And I like they're giving up a decent bit of control. You know, Bezany just there, he spotted a few players. He doesn't want to swing in all too actively. They've put a smoke down now as well to retake that control and try to stop Fnatic from really getting in. This is nicely handled so far, a cautious round from NIP, and a much needed one as well. Lost the one player and 40 HP on site. This could get a little scary.
Kawanzin low. Will eventually get isolated. Ferox's found another. This is already a successful round for Fnatic, taking down 3 players and now leaving Mystic in a clutch. Now, I'll tell you, there's not many more players on.
They just want to do as much damage as they can in this one.
Oh, wow. An early flash straight off the bat is exactly what we're talking about. The HUD hasn't even had a chance to catch up with everything because half the players are already dead. And while Kawanzin has done incredible work, 2 kills with the Frenzy from there. The flash almost grants another one for Bezany as well, but it is still going to be back into that 3v3 scenario. Now, just as in the last round, Mitch, too much damage here is already somewhat of a loss for Fnatic.
Yeah, it's 2 rifles, right? Fnatic didn't come in here with any sort of Spectres or anything like that. This is their full buy round to already lose 2 players and NIP to have 3 remaining, you know, even footing. This is perfect. Now, the one downside for the NIP side is that they are set up on A. They've got all their utility there from Killjoy. They've got their players mostly playing around that area. And by the looks of it, I mean, Fnatic's spike was outside B. It had been dropped there. They went back and got it, but they haven't yet decided to go towards that B site. And depending on what they choose in the next couple of seconds, and Tom, they're starting to choose to go towards the A site. This could play perfectly into NIP's hands.
Yeah, no rotation yet. I like this from NIP, just almost gambling. Now, the smoke going through into mid could be the fake that they need, but because the drone's gone through elsewhere, already 1 player being spotted. And on the other side, they're going to have to try and clear some of these closer angles. The paranoia leaves them completely blind. The swing comes through, but the trades are so good. Janjin coming up with a couple, and now it's left all on
the look of this NIP team, at least for now. Oh, there we go.
Oh, okay, the HUD was bugged. I saw 3 players on NIP without guns. It's like, are you crazy? You just want to win it without spending any money, but no, just a little glitch, a little bug. It happens. Again, though, all you really have in this round is a few pistols and Magnum investing into a Spectre. No ultimate. Well, actually, they've got the Hunter's Fury, but how are they going to utilize that to actually win a round? I don't know.
But those steps are being heard as well. You got John right up next to the smoke.
Players got hit there.
He made the right call. John's backing off immediately. I love it. doesn't overcommit, doesn't take any silly plays. We've seen teams do it far too often. This time on the back of the flash, Shanji, I don't know how he's gotten away with that much. That flash, obviously.
I think we're about to have a bloodbath within this B side because there's already a multitude of players on the other side. I don't think they've spotted the player in the corner either, so it becomes very awkward for Hyper. In fact, he's left all on his lonesome, and now the wallbangs start to come through on the other side. Both players taking a reasonable amount of damage, but it's Kawazine that comes off slightly worse for wear.
That's very good for Kawazine, getting the first tag out already on the drone. He's going to keep them back a little bit longer as he makes his way through and hasn't quite been able to see them outside, but the job is done. They've stopped the B aggression. They've dealt with Hyber already, and very nicely as well. Having that player tucked in the corner, the two behind, the spam out of the Odin, it's a lot of pressure and a lot of details to keep track of while you're pushing on in there. Just overwhelmed Fnatic, and they're left back into a situation with a man disadvantage and no real map control.
Yeah. So
they're going to start pushing up mid to take it.
Boaster taking a bit of damage, and Bessity's just absolutely wrecked him through the corner of the wall. And they've still got these aggressive positions. Like, Mystic hasn't actually got any control of this A site. A pop flash is being set up. They've got the information as well, and Kawazine just spamming. There's only 30 seconds, and Fnatic is still just trying to break through this angle, and they've been caught.
Of course, it's Magnum finding that kill as well, with an Odin running in through a smoke on his short. But that's all he'll get. And in fact, that's all that Fnatic will get. Mystic's running for the hills, trying to get towards the attacker spawn so he can save this weapon. You see John on his way down middle, just 10 seconds on the clock. But that's quite a long time when they're hunting you this aggressively.
Duelist, which we know already for Fnatic is someone that they desperately need. They didn't seem to actually have a backup plan because they didn't have any map control.
You know, we can sit here and talk about Hyper as being an insanely strong duelist. Like I said, shortlist for pretty much every tier 1 team out there, but he's got to be able to put up the numbers. There's a great flash again from Shanji, but he'll be traded out this time. No one can quite res him back up, but they're not expecting BNJ to be here as well. And he is just getting away with murder. 2 quick kills on the back side, and it's again and again. This time they were able to trade out 1-to-1, but the dude still survives the round thanks to his ult being down and was stopping them from using their utility on the way through the entire time. Now straight away, Fnatic are going to start out this round with a lockdown, but it looks like it's going to be a big old fake because they're rotating to the B site. In fact, the spike was already waiting outside of B.
Oh my god.
That is ridiculous for John to get 2 there, and now he knows he's caught them trying to run back. I mean, the players on A don't need to move, though, because they've got a comfortable advantage to play with at this point. Don't believe your hood. There's only 3 players left for Fnatic.
Nice shot from Hyper. Oh, he's going to catch the second as well. Janji down, and, well, now they've at least got a little bit of hope back into this round. John's going to take the wide swing, and Hyper, well, he's just decimating at the moment. BNJ might be about to make the same mistake, but I guess they don't expect another player to push through that angle. BNJ will be able to clear at least this closer angle, but they've got to get rid of Hyper, who's looking to almost go for the ace at this point, but will fall back.
There's the reveal. They know both players are coming from the market of 4K for Hyper secured, and they're one-day turnaround to make this happen, to get over here, obviously with Durka going out at the last second, and they made it happen. So fair play to Koi for being a nice organization and letting their player come and shine on the international stage.
The first round Fnatic wins, he aces on LAN. It's like
looks pretty good for Koi, doesn't it? Yeah, you know, they're not really losing anything by giving him this.
Double his contract, double his contract.
I mean, it would be ridiculous as well, because the thing is, you're giving a player LAN experience, you know, but some orgs, they don't care. Well, it's not they don't care, it's they're not very smart. But yeah, fair play to Koi. I mean, really nice in organizing that, and I think obviously for Firoth as well with Alliance, we heard that things were very smooth on that end. So it's good to hear from Fnatic, but they've only got 1 round. Look, you know, they got their players here, but they still need to get a few more on the board.
It's the least sustainable round ever. A 3v5 ace from Hyper. Like, don't get me wrong, NIP are very much firmly in the driver's seat, but it's just whether or not that actually, like, gets to them. Like, if they're just going to come straight back and win themselves another round, it's almost irrelevant. And again, it's looking like we've got that fast-paced push coming through from Fnatic. They've waited the time. Hyper's found himself the kill. It's the right click, so his knives are gone. But he's been able to retrieve himself a weapon. The pop flash is solid out from Boaster. And finally, they've managed to take over this A site.
They knew that BNJ was there. He had just, like, popped off 1 shot. They heard the sound cue. They react instantly. This is a much better round from Fnatic. It again comes on the back of hyper, or should I say hyper aggression as he goes straight into short. Now we saw that backfire, right? The B main round, he goes in, same pacing, same kind of round, but when he loses, when he dies, it...
Wow. Let's see what the plan is in this round. In fact, it looks like John might be up to a few more shenanigans. We've already seen his mid play in one round, and it did fairly well.
Yeah, he's gone for the light shields here as some fiscal constraints. That was a spam. They had no idea that he's there. They didn't see a barrel or anything. You know, John was a little spooked for a second. But yeah, he's just going to go back and hold this angle, wait for someone on Fnatic to try to take space. I think they're going to drone this out, though, at this point. You're going to be cautious. Yeah, there you go. Drone's going up.
That will at least grant them a little bit of mid-control. And it does mean there has to be a slight switch in position. Did he manage to actually tag the player at the back as well? I think it has, so I think it's forced out a couple of positions. Now, Hyber, I think, will have a rough idea, but the pop flash has just kept him back that little bit longer. And in the meantime, the drone's starting to come through on the other side.
Is Shanji big brain? Is he huge? Did he just use the flash on mid, and then he's rotated instantly to short? I almost felt like that was a reaction play, like, oh, Shanji's mid, we got short, go. He's not going to flash through the smoke, and then he's already here, back in that position that he's been in time and time again. But he's going to make that noise. He's going to try to keep them back. And actually, it's dragged some rotations over as well. You know, just a little bit of utility being used up here by Fnatic, and it's really selling it to NIP that they're defaulting back to the same old A play. 4 players on this A side, and 1 way outside in spawn with an Odin. Still dangerous, though, and especially with the recon online. They need to destroy that right away, and they have done just that. What a spam!
Just guess.
Darts.
Actually, they've got the lockdown, but it won't actually cover out the back of the site, and because of that, some of the positions are still going to be hold. Hyber is at least slowing them down a little bit. The remaining 2 are stuck in the back of the site, but remember, there's still 1 man lurking in the dark. It may not matter, though. BNJ's just gone sprinting in. Now, they need to get rid of Fearoth, and they don't know. They don't know the boaster's behind. He could just end this round on his own. The first goes his way, and now the panic sets him.
I want to see some map control for the NIP side, and that's exactly what they've done. Look at John again inside of B main. This is the position that allowed them to have that heavy stack on A that Fnatic kept running into.
Yeah, especially with the fact that in the previous round, they basically droned him out of his spot. So unless Fnatic are going to read things incredibly well, he'll likely be able to hold on to this at least a little bit more. And they've also gone back to the previous setup with the pop flash available from Switch. So this is basically meaning that Zhanji can't be isolated anywhere near as easily. And they've also got a main control with the push that's already come through from BNJ.
You know what's interesting? There's 2 players currently holding this entire map. Between John and Bezany, they have the entire map covered. The rest of the players are just kind of in position to react to whatever kind of control comes through. Obviously, you've also got BNJ peeking aggressively on A long to try and catch a pick. But they're not being given anything. And with 45 seconds left, again, we put the pressure onto Fnatic to make their way up to blitz on in. Hyber is going to be spotted and taken down. John is clean with 2 quick kills. NIP have got control over this round, and Fnatic have to blitz out into John, who just keeps on delivering. Fearoth will try his best. 5 HP. Boaster, okay. He bought with like 0.5 seconds left, Boaster. You give me a heart attack, man. Whew. All right, so they've got the full buy up, but it's going to take a lot more than just the weapons to win this round.
Yeah, in terms of ults for this round, there's basically nothing online. Hunter's Fury, the only one that's even close, which, well, I don't really think we've seen many, if any, post-plant scenarios. Most of them have just been won by the time the spike actually goes down. And so I don't know how useful that's necessarily going to be. Early utility already expended, and Hyber's actually just gone straight through it! He just dashes into Shandy's face and just takes him out before he can even react with the flash. Benzi's also just gone down to a nano swarm. It leaves BNJ as like the lone defender of this site, somehow dancing between the remaining players, keeping things close. Now John comes through, just tapping away at their heads. And this is starting to get dangerous for Fnatic.
I'm not even sure how BNJ's still alive. That Hunter's Fury's looking for John, and it almost catches his feet. He noticed at the last second. Oh, with that kill.
It's an into support as well, and you have John with his swing. Again, we're going to have the battle of the Odins. Mitch is devastated that no one's actually really found a kill off of this just yet.
No all, but okay, come on, I'm getting excited, man.
Wow.
Keep it going.
Wow, they did like 18
HP.
damage.
Ooh,
Wow.
huge Odin gameplay. Oh god, yeah, no, we're really not getting the Odin game I was hoping for, especially seeing the Magnum attack side. Fearoth's trying to pick it up now and do a little bit of damage himself, but not finding it. The deep shock darts going through. And the minute on the clock, you know, Fnatic, they've put all their eggs in one basket. They are sat outside B. They're waiting to go through. You're seeing that there's going to be a paranoia, I think, moving up through main. Already spotted that John's up close. I mean, you've got to deal with John. You know this guy. He's going to take 3-4 kills if you don't take him down. He's pushed through with an Odin. What a madman. The Odin wall bang from Fearoth to finally deal with John. This is where the rest of NIP come big. And it's Shanji, the flash again. But only one found on the back of it.
And the remaining players are still yet to rotate through. The paranoia won't really grant anything. Oh, never mind. Blinds Mystic enough that he can't do much, and Fearoth left in a 1v2 scenario, unable to get the spike down, but he picks both of them, but he can't quite get anything. They managed to dodge just through the edge, trying to get something. Oh, there's no way he clutches this with just 10 bullets of an Odin. First kill goes away, but he switches, and now the time becomes the issue. Just 12 seconds.
Drops with a lot of frenzies. I'm noticing these guys really like to play the frenzy.
Yeah, I'm a little bit sad that they then don't run that with the Brimmy. Stim those frenzies up, you're in there like lightning, but hey, I don't think these guys need any help with the W key, that's for sure. You've also got an aggressive position already being held by Hyber. He's just going to try and hit the headshot and get out of there, and unfortunately, no headshot to be found.
At least he does the latter, getting out of there safely. Turret going to be destroyed up close. John with the reload, and his Danger Man's now moving into the side. Already tagged up once, flashed up, not able to get too much done at the start, but now here he comes, closing in the distance, and this is where the frenzy really thrives. The shots aren't going to land, and one headshot's not quite enough, but it has weakened up Magnum, making it easier to go on.
Who'd you hear that from?
TRX.
Who's your source?
They even said it.
It's Stacks in
no,
it.
Yeah, literally. Stacks said it himself. We had like tier 2, tier 3 EMEA teams reporting back that they were like demolishing DRX, and then they've come through and played some of the best Valorant in officials. It's a different ball game altogether. So for Fnatic, you need the officials on stage. You got to get those get those games in, and it's similar to what we said about Liquid, right? When we had that interview with Scream, and he said that he thinks actually being here instead of being straight into playoffs is an advantage for them because they can warm up into it. Now for Fnatic, you know, they don't have the history together to fall back on that, and this is where I get a little bit worried. We're like, you gotta have a little bit of a better performance coming out of the gate, because the warm-up time's going to be kind of tough.
Also, then they'll switch a player, so there is no real warm-up time. It's like,
well, that's it. That's
you're going to warm up to then switch anyway, and then you have to warm up again. So they're in a bad spot out of everybody. Of course, this round for NIP is one where they've invested barely anything. They know the alarm bot's down mid, and it looks like they might be attempting to try and bait with it, like just break it and almost force a rotation in the other direction. The problem, however, is they have seen the remainder of the players. So killing off the 3 on short, that only leaves a couple to go in, and they've forced 0 rotation. So the remainder for Fnatic know exactly where they are. They've already been spotted, and Magnum should be able to wire out both. Get yourself the ultimates. And well, this is a straight up B push. There is nothing other than this. They are all going straight through B main, and Fnatic have been... No, I don't think so.
Yes, I mean, at this point, they have to just play hard retake. There's no way to get back in there and try to fight this, surely, but hold on, maybe they're going to pop that flash through. Johnson, the smoke! He's taking a triple! What is this guy doing? Still alive as well, running around and taking heads. This guy is just something else. Fearoth, the final man standing, as a 1v3 with a Sheriff in hand, and I think I know the end of this story. We'll see. There's damage done at least to Kawadzine, but with John still alive.
I've seen someone clutch a situation like this with a Sheriff.
Don't you even start. Don't you say it. Don't you say it.
Not my
It's the next map up as well, and Fearoth's on the server. I don't want to hear about a Sheriff 1v4 on Split, okay?
Oh, he's got a rifle now. And he's just going to leave. To be honest, if he can get even 1 kill and then leave, this is actually a really successful round for Fnatic for a bonus. Of course, they're in a spot where, realistically, winning it would have been ideal just to get them back into a position where they have a good economy and they can actually start to close this out. How much damage can Fearoth do here? He's got himself anything more.
It's the success rate. That's the crazy thing. Wow, the confidence definitely built up for NIP. They've hit double digits now, but we have to remember, that was a weak buy from Fnatic. Now they've got the full buyout, and this is where you have to be very cautious as the attackers. Hyber's operator is lurking somewhere, but NIP don't know where. You can see that they're being cautious and droning out mid, but it's in B main that you can see Hyber scoped in, waiting for someone to step out. BNJ is sat there with the spike. He's about to step on into the crosshair. Luckily, it's Kawadzine that goes down, though.
the flash is so solid, but Fearoth actually manages to find a double. This is looking so clean, and BNJ is the only one left standing, stuck within B main. The rotation already coming through from Boaster just to deny his spot, and they have players watching on that flank as well. Mystic will catch him with a knife out, but, well, doesn't manage to get much else.
Yeah, the jump keeps him safe. He's stepped back a second just to give a little bit of a clue that he was
Statistically, going into the second half is a pretty good sign.
Well, this is going to be quite a fast round. John's already going in there. I'm scared of this guy on attack with a Blade Storm. He's just attacking Fnatic are too. They're playing a hard retake, and of course they are. Look at what Magnum has to work with.
No one's destroyed the turret. Finally.
Doing 50 damage to Timmy. All right. So we're going to have double lockdowns coming into play. That's going to be an interesting scenario. Hyber already caught one, but is he ready? Oh, he shouldn't be. Why would he? That's a great kill. Oh. a little bit awkward.
The thing is, they only really had pistols in this round anyway, so they're just trying to get what they can. Kawazin with a nice shot.
What's going to do with it? Hyber has some other ideas as well, and he's actually watching the same angle, but he's pulled off it. He's heard a player inside of mid putting up that turret, and he wanted to go and look for anyone coming out of market. This timing is going to be key. Oh, again, they miss each other. Ships in the night, and eventually John will land the shot. But it's Magnum that he's taken down, now swinging wider. Hyber will catch, will trade. And Shanji's losing some HP, but they've got the A site for their troubles.
Yeah, there wasn't much to stop them because of the setup that was in onto mid, so it's the same after plant, which Fnatic have been relatively good at getting back in on. They also have nearly all of their utility. They didn't use
Mystic.
any of it in the early stages of this round.
You naughty boy, Mystic. He's holding it. He knows. Oh, oh no, the timing. Oh, the timing.
Okay, he gets there in the end. It's fine.
Whew, that wasn't an awkward fight. All right, so NIP in a position on site. 3 players left alive. Fnatic are going to be blitzing in. They've even got the Blade Storm to work with here. Hyber looking to find some victims, and there goes Mystic, but NIP just can't find the kills. They need BNJ, the last man alive, to go huge. No one's cleared down below. He's already got 2. BNJ gets in play. And it's not expected. I mean, they're going to be kicking themselves after that one. And we talked about the importance of that round. Everything in the setup was done perfectly by Fnatic, with Mystic waiting and catching them pushing through, with Hyber trading out the mid-peak where Magnum fell. Everything was done perfectly. And even still, they end up 11-7. That small gap that they left, BNJ just ripped a hole wide open in the game plan. You know, you look at what Fnatic have to work with in this round, they can still make it work, but it's now or never.
I always love that. You hear the drone, 0 point, no information, and they've still got this little trap play of 3 players waiting. And with everybody on the other side of the map, the problem is, because we've seen so many of these stack-ups, Fnatic aren't really taking much map control anymore. So they're just sat within their setup, no mid-presence at all, in fact. And maybe that's because it hasn't really been pressured a huge amount from the opposing side. So they're just waiting for this take to come through, and because nothing's been seen by NIP, they're going to start doubling back.
Fearoth still has his recon to play with. It's come back online a little while ago. We haven't seen it popped out anywhere. It feels like he's keeping that for a reactive play. As they start to push in, Hyber going to be finding one from afar. The Odin trying to take him down and doing a damn good job of it. Boaster, oh, he's going to be caught. That play not quite working out. Fearoth will do his best from up above. 2 kills already under his belt. He's ready for more, but has to back out. 10 seconds left. Hunter's Fury to try and tag them, take them down, but he won't be able to deny the spike plant. He won't be able to get the kill with it either.
Close.
And Magnum, well, he almost catches him shifting over towards the boxes. But they've missed it again, and this is so scary. That Odin tucked in the corner. Bezany able to react off the back of it, and that's to work with. As the timer hits 0, NIP got to dictate the pace here on the attack. The Ares early round, not going to find Fearoth anything. NIP were playing that Odin wallbang every single round, so they know well to avoid those early sprays, and it's a fast play in through market, but Fnatic have stacked up with 3 players currently on the site. The weaker weapon's going to be put to the test. Hyber already finding the first, but they've let John right through. He's come in through market, taken the first, and now look at Shanji in through the smoke. This is a textbook play for NIP, apparently. Boaster not able to get anything done. This is left down to Fearoth. He's got to take down the final 3 players, and Spike is right in front of him. He's even upgraded to a Vandal. He's not going to be detected up close, but the flash is about to come around the corner. That is huge for Shanji. Those flash